Hello guys, Omni here. Before we get into the video, remember to follow me on the Stardust app. I actually already have my initial reaction and thoughts on this movie that we're talking about today uploaded there, so go check that out. Anyway, on to the movie we're reviewing today. Earlier today, I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the latest film by Quentin Tarantino, and I spent a lot of the day trying to mull over where this falls on the Tarantino scale for me, because right now I still have Pulp Fiction as number one, which, you know, that's a general kind of cop-out answer, but I gotta say, that's the one I can just throw on and enjoy, and just, it's just so iconic and quotable that I just enjoy watching it at any time. And this movie, I think, I think it has the potential to take that slot, given some time. There's a lot of great performances in this, a lot of great lines, and, you know, I feel like this might become one of those movies that will definitely kind of take that kind of spot. There's a lot of great deliveries, a lot of great things and happen in the movie as well that I think will eventually, over time, settle into pop culture, especially being the penultimate, if he sticks to his word, the penultimate film for Quentin Tarantino before he stops directing films. Whether you believe him or not, whether he is true to what he says or not, or if we see him back after his 10th film, which he says will be the final film he directs, who knows? I think this movie will mark a point, and I think that mostly too because it is a love letter to filmmaking in Hollywood, especially of a specific time period. And this is the time period definitely that heavily influenced Quentin Tarantino. And it shows. He oozes all of this love and passion for this period. And the way that they made film and TV back then, going so far, because we know that Tarantino doesn't like to shoot on digital as it is. This movie as well is shot on film. And it very much shows just his style, the way the camera works, and the actual just visuals of it is so telling of Quentin Tarantino's style. And given the period, he also takes that extra step to recreate a lot of these shows that Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, is in, and that style of the television style that they were depicted in back then, with the same formatting, the same type of film grain, and all of that, incorporated it to just make it as lived in and as authentic as possible. And it's just great, on top of how well he practically recreates this entire time period on the LA streets. I know there was stories of traffic backups, which, you know, on the actual interstate there, the highways there, that's normal. But he had entire streets closed down to be completely retrofitted to look like what they would have looked like 40 years ago or whatever, give or take. This is like, the movie spans a specific time period, the late 60s, early 70s, and it just shows, and it's such a passionate recreation of these moments, and a lot of the popular things that were going on at the time, the drugs, cigarettes, all of it. The types of films that were being made, the filmmakers that were hitting the scene, namely, at the time, Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, played by Margot Robbie, which she is one of the central characters that we're following between Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and her. I think this movie, you need to go into it without knowing as much as possible, because there's a couple of twists and turns that happen throughout this movie that are really shocking and surprising and really enjoyable. And I think if you kind of know what you're getting into going into it, they'll be a little bit lessened. It'll still be great, but I think the surprise will be there, because there's a tension when you are watching Sharon Tate, and you just kind of, you know where it ends up if you're familiar with what happened to her in real life. And so it's always uneasy when you're bouncing around between Dalton, Brad Pitt's character, her, and then this Manson family. It's very uneasy, and you're like, when is this? Is it going to happen in this movie? Where is this going to? Are we going to show this? What is this going to be part of the movie? And it plays with that really well. And I think it's a really entertaining kind of juxtaposition of what you're going through, especially where it kind of contrasts really hard between that kind of side of the film and then Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio's side of the film. And the way it kind of interplays is just really fun and jarring to watch, where you're having a good time and then suddenly you're just like, what's gonna happen? Great movie. If you're, like I said, this movie doesn't really have a plot structure. It's really just about a period in people's lives. You see them do their routines. You see what they do in their normal offset lives as well. It's just a really slice of life movie that takes place in a really interesting part of Hollywood history. And it's fun. So a lot of people aren't going to like that because there's not like a coherent structure to the film. Really, there's not really a point or a goal that the movie has. It's just like I said, I keep saying the term love letter because that's really all it is. This is a movie depicting a specific time frame in history, and the style, the iconography, the what it meant for filmmaking and actors, and the genres that they incorporated and inspired, and a kind of a commentary on kind of how these things kind of play up. You know, it's really just about a love and passion for film, rather than actually having like a end goal or an end story or a 3-act structure plot. And, you know, some people, that's not going to jive with a lot of people, but I really enjoyed it. I think Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's sitting at about at mid 80s on both the critic and audience scores, which isn't too surprising. But this is a film worth seeing for sure, even if you're not a Quentin Tarantino fan. It doesn't go as far as some of his other films do, with certain things he tends to do a lot in a lot of movies, but I think it's a fun ride. It's a good watch, and I recommend it. For me, this is a 9 out of 10 film. I loved every second of this movie. I think given some time and maybe even a rewatch, this could be a 10. This could be a 10 out of 10 for me. This is A+ freaking movie. I loved it. I always say I want to go back and check a movie out, but because of like time and all of that, I almost never do. But I really want to find a time frame to see if I can fit in another viewing of this, because I just really enjoyed it this much. Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and Margot Robbie and Al Pacino, everybody in this movie is just so enthralling to watch and intoxicating to just kind of take in. The performances across the board are spectacular. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. Kevin Smith's daughter's even in this movie, though I don't recall any dialogue. She's just kind of there. A couple of scenes throughout the film, which is kind of funny. Anyway, that's about all I can say of this movie. I don't want to spoil it or ruin anything. Go see the movie. Go watch it. Go have a good time. Enjoy the surprises. Enjoy what happens in the film. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you've seen it, if you're going to see it, if you're not going to see it, let me know why you're not going to see it. Anyway, guys, let's talk about all this stuff down in the comments after the video. Remember, if you liked the video, support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments what you didn't like. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you guys for stopping in. Thank everybody for following the channel and just kind of participating in the comments down below. I love talking with you guys and sharing our thoughts and views and whatnot. Thank you all, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.